The military compensation strategy for fiscal year 2026 includes a proposal for a 3.8% universal pay raise for all active duty service members. This proposal, put forth by President Trump as part of a comprehensive defense budget request, often finalized through the National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, aims to ensure military pay keeps pace with private sector wage growth. The 3.8% figure directly aligns with the Employment Cost Index, ECI, which is the standard mechanism Congress uses to maintain pay parity between the military and civilian labor markets. Critically, this universal raise is proposed against a backdrop where the administration simultaneously recommended a significantly lower increase, as low as 1%, for the majority of federal civilian employees, creating a distinct compensation gap between the uniformed and non-uniformed federal workforce. Analysis, reasons and consequences. Reasons for the proposal. The primary reason for adopting the ECI-based 3.8% figure is economic, to safeguard the all-volunteer force, AVF. Military retention and recruiting depend on service compensation remaining competitive with the civilian job market. By adhering to the ECI, the Department of Defense, DoD, attempts to prevent erosion of the service members' purchasing power, especially important during periods of elevated inflation where housing, childcare, and basic goods costs increase sharply. Politically, a substantial, universal pay raise is a popular measure that demonstrates unequivocal support for the troops and serves as an effective tool for boosting morale and recognizing the unique sacrifices of military service. Consequences and trade-offs. The consequence of implementing a large, across-the-board raise is primarily financial and structural. First, budgetary pressure increases. While necessary, a universal raise is costly, potentially crowding out other vital defense priorities, such as advanced technology procurement, infrastructure maintenance, or research and development, R&D. Second, targeting inefficiency remains a key concern. Critics argue that universal raises are an inefficient tool for addressing specific personnel shortages, e.g. highly specialized cyber warfare experts or surgeons. A single percentage increase equally rewards those in overmanned, non-critical fields and those in undermanned, mission-critical areas. The Government Accountability Office, GAO, has historically favored targeted bonuses and special pays to solve specific skill shortages, rather than relying on blanket increases. Third, the disparity with the federal civilian workforce may cause friction. When military personnel receive 3.8% while their civilian counterparts receive 1% or less, especially if locality pay is frozen, it can strain interagency relations and lower morale among federal employees who often work side by side with service members, even though their compensation systems are governed by different economic metrics. 3. Prediction and outlook. It is highly likely that the 3.8% military pay raise will be approved and enacted into law. Military compensation is politically sacrosanct. Congress rarely, if ever, passes an NDAA that provides service members less than the ECI recommended raise. Furthermore, recent legislative efforts have shown a clear trend toward targeting junior enlisted personnel for further above ECI increases to address poverty and quality of life concerns at the lowest ranks. Therefore, while the 3.8% will be the universal floor, we can predict that Congress may amend the final bill to include specific, higher percentage increases for E1 through E4 pay grades, continuing the recent focus on mitigating financial stress for young families. The core debate will not be if the raise happens, but how the massive defense budget encompassing this pay hike will be funded. IV. Solutions and recommendations. Moving forward, policymakers should adopt a more holistic, two-pronged approach to military compensation. Targeted compensation. Instead of relying solely on universal basic pay raises, the DoD should utilize special and incentive S&I pays to address retention in critical specialties. This approach is more cost-effective and ensures taxpayer funds are directed toward maintaining essential, hard-to-fill skill sets. Quality of life QOL investment. Compensation is more than just base pay. Future solutions must prioritize non-cash benefits that disproportionately affect military families. This includes rigorous reform of the Basic Allowance for Housing, BAH, calculation to ensure it accurately reflects soaring rental costs near military installations, expanded and subsidized childcare options, and improved support for military spouse employment initiatives. These non-cash investments are often more impactful on retention than a slight increase in basic pay, particularly for mid-career service members.